Sunrise and streaming on crossroadstoday.com. NBA legend Jerry West, whose image inspired the league's logo, died at the age of 86. And the consumer price index remained unchanged in the month of May. Plus, this morning, a state of emergency in Florida as life-threatening flash floods consume the southern parts of the state.
And we still have another slight chance for maybe a couple of showers and thunder showers in the afternoon today. Not as much as yesterday, but the sun coming out is going to be pretty hot today and this weekend. But next week, we've got lots of tropical rain heading our way. We'll take a look at that in the weather coming up.
The Victoria Generals try and stay perfect at home, and the Mavs now in a position where no team has ever recovered before. I'll have that in sports.
You're watching 25 News Now Sunrise. Good morning and thank you for joining us. I'm Carolina Astrain.
And I'm Parker Cox.
And today it's the 13th day of June 2024. The time is now 6:31 on our Thursday morning, and it's softball day.
Softball day?
Yeah, women's sports. It's important.
Yeah, definitely. And also, did you know that I actually played, it's not softball, I played baseball for about 6-7 years of my life.
Oh, wow.
A long time ago.
What was your position?
I was more of an outfielder.
Yeah, because you're so tall, Parker.
I was tall.
You catch that ball.
I was tall and I also had the rocket arm thing going on.
Aww.
So, but lots of fun. Very fun sport to play.
Definitely.
Pretty much the same thing with softball. So.
Well, if our softball players are practicing out today, do they need to hydrate some extra?
Well, for your softball day today, softball players, I might recommend bringing a little bit extra water today because it's going to be another pretty warm and humid day. It's going to feel a lot like summer today. But the good news is we have a chance to maybe see some more isolated showers or thunder showers going into this afternoon. We're going to take a look at that in just a second because right now, if you're tuning in with us this morning and looking live in Victoria, it's not too bad in the morning, just like it has been for the last 4 or 5 weeks. Sitting at 75 right now, and the humidity still plenty high, sitting at 96%. And in fact, if I step out of the way here, it does look a tad bit foggy out there this morning, and that's why your computer says a 4-mile visibility. So please be careful. You might see, just like you saw right there, a very thin layer of fog out there this morning. But we are all loving the mid and some of the upper 70s this morning. Along the immediate coast here are in the low, some of the mid 80s because you're right next to that 86, 87 degree water. That's the temperature right now. The water temperatures this afternoon going to be warm, 92 degrees, which is very bad news bears for any kind of tropical system that might head our way. But the good news is we're going to take a look at that in just a second because today, like I said, also good news. Like I said, maybe a couple isolated thunder showers somewhere. I can't guarantee you that you're going to see it, but otherwise it's going to be pretty sunny. You don't see a cloud really in the sky this afternoon other than those showers. And that beaming sunshine today is going to bring us, I'm thinking, right around 93, 94 here in Victoria. Well, out west, y'all could be in the upper 90s for today. But the heat indices, all of us going to see above 100 with the high humidity. And like I said, next week we were thinking there might be a tropical system, but now it's looking like we're going to get lots of tropical moisture and lots of rain. But we're going to take a look at all of that and more, though, in just a few more moments. Back to Carolina.
Thank you, Parker. NBA legend Jerry West, whose image inspired the league's logo, has died. The Hall of Fame point guard was an All-American at the University of West Virginia before playing 14 seasons for the Los Angeles Lakers. West led the Lakers to 9 appearances in the NBA Finals, capturing the title once in 1972. West had a second career in the sport as an executive, famously as the general manager for the Shaq and Kobe Lakers era, but most recently West served as an executive for the Los Angeles Clippers. A release from the Clippers says West died Wednesday with his wife Karen by his side. The Hall of Famer was 86 years old. The Sandy Hook shooting survivors graduated Wednesday without 20 of their classmates. About 60 of the 330 students who graduated Wednesday were survivors of one of the deadliest school shootings in American history. 20 of their fellow first graders and 6 educators were killed at Sandy Hook Elementary School on December 14, 2012. Newtown High School's class of 2024 wore green and white ribbons on their graduation gowns, each inscribed with "Forever in Our Hearts" to remember the children and adults who were killed almost 12 years ago. Each of their names were called out in remembrance during the graduation ceremony. The consumer price index remained unchanged in the month of May. The CPI held flat after rising 0.3% in April, but is up by 3.3% from a year ago. The core CPI, including food and energy prices, increased, going up by 0.2% last month and 3.4% from a year earlier. Experts say the report may be an indicator that inflation is normalizing. On a monthly basis, inflation was at 0.0%, the lowest it's been since July 2022. Life-threatening floods happening across South Florida, some areas getting months' worth of rain in just hours. Meanwhile, across the country, a new wildfire has burned at least 6 structures and is forcing evacuations near Phoenix.
This morning, a state of emergency in Florida as life-threatening flash floods inundate the southern parts of the state. Tropical rainstorms unleashing more than a foot of rain in some areas. Hallandale Beach hit hard, more than 17 inches falling, 12 of those in just a few hours. One resident opting to kayak instead. Many in the area say they're still recovering from last year's storms. People seen evacuating this mobile home park, and they weren't alone.
And the humans aren't the only ones feeling the impact. Mario spotted that possum there, trying to get out of the water there.
The downpours creating a nightmare for travelers. More than 1,000 flights canceled or delayed at South Florida airports. The Florida Panthers, on their way to Game 3 of the Stanley Cup Finals, delayed more than 3 hours. Parts of Interstate 95 shut down due to rain and flooding. Other streets completely inaccessible. Cars stalling out across the region.
You can't drive through this right now.
No, you can't drive. I mean, cars can't even get out.
Crews in Miami running more than 24 pumps to try and curb some of the flooding.
We're near downtown Miami where the water keeps on rising. Here it's almost up to my knees, but it only gets worse further down the street where all these cars are flooded. You can also see that school bus. This is not over yet.
Rain is expected to fall in the area through Saturday. Some areas could see up to 10 inches. Meanwhile, in the west, a new wildfire sparking evacuations in Wickenburg, Arizona, about an hour outside of Phoenix. Multiple structures burning as a major highway, US 60, was shut down in both directions. No word yet on what started the fire. Temperatures in Phoenix hit 111 yesterday. Part of that western heat wave brought record temperatures to Denver. The mercury hitting 109 degrees in Las Vegas. That extreme heat now making its way towards the East Coast. Temperatures are expected to reach into the 90s tomorrow in Atlanta, Raleigh, Durham, and Philadelphia. Andrew Dimbert, ABC News, New York.
The Victoria ISD is holding a special board meeting next Tuesday at 3:30. Board members will discuss and take action to select a superintendent search firm. The meeting is at the administration building on April 25th. The VIC Board of Trustees accepted Quentin Shepard's resignation as superintendent. Randy Myers currently serves as the interim superintendent, but says he will return to his position as deputy superintendent once a selection is made. Remember, subscribe to our YouTube channel, Crossroads Today. Hit the like button and click the notification bell. The time is now 6:38 on our Thursday morning. Here's a look at what's coming up on 25 News Now Sunrise. The CEO of a spacecraft manufacturing company is being sued by former employees for treating them like sexual objects.
President Joe Biden is in Italy this morning for the G7 summit, but his meeting with another leader is set to produce a landmark deal. I'm Christiane Cordero with the details from Washington.
And also coming up after the break, we'll take a look at your marine forecast, followed by your weather and health forecast. And later on Sunrise, we'll take another look at the tropics and all the tropical rain heading our way next week. Well, good morning, Crossroads. If you are tuning in with us this morning and looking live in Cuero, not too bad of a morning. Actually, look at that beautiful sunrise coming up even over Cuero. Lots of different kinds of clouds out there this morning. And I wasn't really thinking there'd be this much cloud cover, but I'm thinking that cloud cover will decrease going into the next couple hours. But right now, 75 degrees, still a little bit nice out there, a little bit warm, but 97% humidity, bringing you a 5-mile visibility out there. So please be careful. Looking at this camera, it doesn't look too foggy, but some lower elevations might see that thin fog. So please be careful with that. But for today, also be careful with the heat because it's going to get up to about 94 here in Victoria. Out west, y'all could see up to maybe the upper 90s out in B County and Karnes County, but plenty of another chance to maybe see some spotty thunder showers again afternoon today. Not very high, not the chances aren't as high as yesterday, but all of us can see heat indices above 100 today. So please be careful with that. But if you can dodge the heat and also dodge the showers along the coast today, great day to go fishing. 1 foot or less, water is nice and smooth. Water temperature is very warm at 92 degrees, and your pollen all across the board is going to be low. Air quality is moderate, and a very high UV index with the sunny skies. And the sunny skies are going to continue this weekend with lots of tropical rain heading our way next week. And we're going to take a look at that and more in just a few more moments. And that's it for weather. Now we're going to look at sports with Zach Brown.
The Victoria Generals came into last night fresh off a dominant win over the Brazos Valley Bombers and back at it last night trying to stay perfect at home on the young season. They were leading 1-0 in the 4th inning. On the mound for the Generals, this is Will Johnson out of the University of Texas at Tyler. He was great in the early going, but hoping his guys can add a little bit of more run support. In the bottom of the 4th, that ball smoked into right field off the bat of Cameron Nickens out of the University of Houston. The right fielder could not make the over-the-shoulder grab. It got down. It was a triple. He was promptly brought home with an RBI single into center field to make it 2-0 Victoria after another shutout inning. To the bottom of the 5th we go. Whitfield reaches base on a hit by pitch. Travis Bragg lined it to center. The dive couldn't be caught, and it rolls all the way past him. Whitfield can pretty much walk home. Bragg hustled all the way to 3rd. The Generals now leading 3-0 after 5. But after that inning, the Generals only put up one more run. They lose last night 6-4, first home loss on the young season. The Mavs dropped the first 2 games of the series in Boston, and now they try and protect home court. No Porzingis for the Celtics early on. So far, so good for Dallas, but Boston would go on a run, and at the end of one, the score was 31-30, and they led by 1 at the end of the first half, but Boston does pull out the win, 106-99. The Mavs in that dreaded 3-0 hole where no team has ever come from before. Teams are 0-154 all time. So barring a miracle, this series is over. We will see if the Mavs have any life left this Friday, looking to at least avoid the sweep. With your 25 Sports Now, I'm Zach Brown.
Thank you, Zach. All right, we want to invite y'all to experience our digital streaming service, Crossroads Today Plus. You can find it on your connected TV. Just search for Crossroads Today Plus. President Joe Biden and Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky are expected to sign a major long-term security agreement today. It comes as the U.S. expands its sanctions against Russia.
President Joe Biden is in Italy this morning, where he'll meet with European and Canadian leaders known collectively as the G7, while his meeting with another leader there is expected to produce a landmark deal. Biden and his Ukrainian counterpart Volodymyr Zelensky are set to sign a security agreement with the U.S. pledging long-term support for Ukraine's military. The administration says the agreement is like others Ukraine has signed with other countries and does not include any commitment to use U.S. forces to defend Ukraine. It's meant to send Russia a firm message, one of several. The U.S. also announced it's widening economic sanctions to discourage countries like China from doing business with Russia.
These actions will ratchet up the risk that foreign financial institutions take by dealing with Russia's war economy.
Russian warships, meanwhile, are on full display just over 100 miles from Florida's coast. The fleet, which includes a nuclear-powered submarine, was welcomed with a 21-cannon salute by longtime ally Cuba as Russian military drills begin there for the first time in 16 years. It comes at the heels of threats from Vladimir Putin in response to the U.S. greenlighting Ukraine's attacks on Russian targets near Ukraine's border using U.S.-supplied weapons. The Pentagon has downplayed the significance of Russia's latest move.
This is not a surprise. We're always constantly going to monitor any foreign vessels operating near U.S. territorial waters. We, of course, take it seriously, but these exercises don't pose a threat to the United States.
Back to that U.S.-Ukraine bilateral agreement, Biden and Zelensky are expected to sign it later today before holding a joint press conference. Christiane Cordero, ABC News, Washington.
And that leads us to your viewer poll. You can scan the QR code right there on your screen to take part. We ask you, do you agree with the long-term security agreement between the U.S. and Ukraine? Okay, let's take a look. 39% of you say yes. Excuse me. And 61% of you say no. Taking part in our viewer poll. The time is now 6:46 on our Thursday morning. Still to come, an American pastime interrupted by protesters that made their way onto the field. Okay, it is time now to celebrate some birthdays. Happy birthday to Felicia. Happy 31st birthday to Felicia from your bestie, Brittany.
Happy birthday, Felicia. And happy 50th birthday to Della, the big 5-0. Happy birthday to the sweetest mom and grandma. Della, we love you so much. You are our angel to our family, and we are so blessed for all of your family. Enjoy your day.
And Captain America with a birthday today. Actor Chris Evans is 43.
Happy birthday, Chris Evans. And to see your birthday wish live on 25 News Now Sunrise, come to crossroadstoday.com. Click on More, and under Home, you'll see KVU to submit your birthday.
Did you see him in the Fantastic Four? He plays the Human Torch.
Oh, yes, that's right.
This is Captain America.
Oh, yeah, he was a great character in that show. I like that movie.
All right, well, the time is now 6:47 on our Thursday morning. Happy birthday if you're celebrating one today.
That's right. Happy birthday. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Well, good morning, Crossroads. I brought some more good news for y'all this morning. Aside from the possible showers today, the good news is I don't think we're gonna have any tropical system to come our way going into next week. But going into not this coming weekend, the next weekend, that might be a different story. But all those details won't come out until the next several days. But right now, there's a 50% chance or greater, up to 60% chance of this little area of interest that the National Hurricane Center has just issued. That little level of kind of certainty that something will develop. So, but I'm thinking whatever develops out there is actually going to head out west, right towards Tampico and Mexico, actually. But it's currently, right now, in fact, you're looking at your radar on satellite, you could see all the big thunderstorms that are right over the Yucatan Peninsula and over the Bay of Campeche this morning. But you can also see lots of showers that are still kind of ongoing over near Florida. But the good news is it's kind of dying down because the NVest that just ran right over them is now escaping out into the Atlantic this morning. But as we fast forward this in time, you can see this is going to start going out into the Atlantic. Not coming our way, but you can see down here, right off the Yucatan Peninsula coast here, you can see that area of broad low center of low pressure that's circulating kind of clockwise, starting to go towards west, towards Mexico. Like I said, not coming our way. That's good news. And why it's going to go west is because high pressure is going to return to the central United States, and that's going to help slingshot it with easterly winds towards the west, towards Mexico. But the reason why we're seeing the possible tropical development is because the water temperatures are so warm, and anything that comes next week could be pretty strong. But we're going to take a look at all of that more, though, in just a few more moments. Back to Carolina.
Thank you, Parker. SpaceX and its CEO Elon Musk are being sued by former employees for alleged sexual harassment in the workplace. 8 former employees say that Musk personally ordered their firing in 2022 after they circulated an open letter. A copy of the lawsuit claims the letter alleged that Musk's workplace decorum was, quote, a frequent source of distraction and embarrassment, and continued on to claim that Musk treated women as sexual objects and bombarded the workplace with lewd sexual banter. The lawsuit filed in Los Angeles, California, seeks to hold Musk personally liable for SpaceX's workplace environment and for the terminations. Johnson & Johnson will pay $700 million in a settlement regarding its talcum powders. The deal resolves allegations the company misled customers about the safety of its talcum-based products. Legal battles and investigations into a link between cancer and talc have been going on for a decade. More than 50,000 claims have been filed against the company. Most involve women who have developed ovarian cancer. As part of the settlement, J&J will no longer use talc in any of its products. The company pulled talc powders off the shelves in North America 4 years ago. Still to come on Sunrise, news to know before you go. A federal law enforcement building goes into lockdown after a woman walked in and pointed a gun at her chest. this Wednesday for what they described as inaction on the country's youth vaping epidemic. 3 years ago, the FDA was found to have violated the Tobacco Control Act by allowing e-cigarette products to stay on the market despite not having FDA pre-authorization. An agency official testified the topic was a top priority. Senator Dick Durbin held up a poster of flavored vapes that he said his staffers found in a shop located a mile from FDA headquarters. To date, the FDA has authorized just 23 e-cigarette products and none of them are flavored. Several protesters were arrested at the congressional baseball game in Washington, D.C. Wednesday. U.S. Capitol Police arrested 8 protesters who disrupted the baseball game by running onto the field. The activist group called Climate Defiance claimed responsibility for the demonstration at the annual charity game that features Democrats and Republicans from the U.S. House and Senate. After protesters made their way onto the field, Capitol Police officers tackled them onto the turf. The activist group against the use of fossil fuels had posted their plan on X the day before. Police arrested a woman after she barricaded herself inside an FBI building in Seattle Wednesday. Police say the woman walked into the building while pointing a gun at her chest, which prompted the building to go on lockdown. Multiple agencies responded, including a team of negotiators. Police say the woman eventually put the gun down about an hour later and arrested her without incident. No injuries were reported and no hostages were taken. It's unknown if the woman will face any charges. The American Civil Liberties Union is suing the Biden administration over an executive action aimed at securing the southern border. The action bars migrants crossing the border illegally from seeking asylum when an average daily threshold is met. The ACLU argues the measure violates U.S. immigration law and the Administrative Procedure Act. The specific law lays out the procedural steps agencies must go through in implementing certain policies. The lawsuit, filed on behalf of 2 Texas-based organizations working with migrants, did not seek an emergency stop of the order. And we want to invite you to experience our digital streaming service, Crossroads Today Plus. You can find it on your connected TV. Just search for Crossroads Today Plus. And now we go to Parker for a look at the tropics and our forecast for the next couple of days. Parker.
That's right, Carolina. We are still watching the tropics, but this morning we've got a beautiful sunrise coming over Port Lavaca. Look at all the clouds over the sun and all kinds of colors and a little bit of clouds out there, but not super cloudy, because right now this computer's saying it's sunny out there, because I think today it's going to be pretty sunny. Right now it is 79 degrees in Port Lavaca and still plenty humid, sitting at 95%. So please be careful with your humidity that high. You might see maybe a very thin layer of fog, like I've been saying all morning. But in terms of satellite, you just saw there on the camera, not too much in terms of clouds, maybe a couple clouds out there. There's a little bit more clouds over Cuero this morning, but in fact, looking at your Victoria camera, there's really nothing out there right now. But with it being so sunny today, I'm thinking it's going to get up to about 94 this afternoon in Victoria, with maybe a thunder shower that's possible in the vicinity in the mid to late afternoon today. But in Cuero, I don't think y'all are going to get any showers today. You might get real lucky, maybe see one. But getting up to about 95 today in Cuero, because you're all out west, a little bit warmer. And in Port Lavaca, because you're right next to that water, getting up to about 93. The warm water, that's 92-degree water. Still, y'all might have a good shot at seeing some showers and thunder showers going into the afternoon today. But like we were just saying, yes, no longer really a chance for anything coming our way. That's going to go west. But coming our way, we're going to get the northeastern side of that low, and we've got lots and lots of rain coming our way.
All right, Parker, thank you so much for that forecast.
Of course.
And thank y'all for joining us. Have a wonderful, wonderful Thursday. Remember to follow us on our YouTube channel, Crossroads Today, and join Karina, Don, Mac, and Zach today for 25 News Now, 6 and 10.